What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we have none other than a tier list for you guys to enjoy. This one, well, not tier list, more or less a glimpse at the meta. So we're going to take a look at week 3 of the meta and see where decks are kind of landing and what decks are kind of topping and doing well. We have a lot of good data to go with, and there's still a lot of potential. So without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. So first off, we have none other than Royal Knights doing extremely well here, while we also have Hoodie doing extremely well, Jessmon and Pyramidi doing extremely well for getting at least 10 tops across the board. There's a mixture of store regionals and normal play, so again, this will skew the data a little bit, but they are decks that are topping and showing results, which we'd love to see. Garurumon still showing up and putting in a lot of work and pressure. Mastimon doing some great stuff. Bagger Army starting to show up more and more. This leads into players getting a better understanding. The deck is one of those decks that does extremely well into the format, and people just need to learn how to adapt with it. It's a very much not a Unga Bunga brain dead deck. It is a very deck that you need to understand what you're doing to play. And Bagger Army definitely rewards skilled players. And again, just the new wave of support was just enough to give this deck the value it needed. Lusimon doing extremely well as well this format. And by this week, most people would have just written off a lot of this. But because Lusimon has a lot of great tools into the format, I think it's going to stay for longevity. Then we do have Alter S being pretty solid, with Examon and Bees kind of following up into this 5-win streak here, so not bad. Then we do have none other than Levia, Apocali, CS, Alphamon. Then you have none other than Dullahanmon, aka Ghosties. We even have Avengers starting to pop back up at the local scenes, and then we do have Bloomlord. But Galaxy, we even got a Justimon list. We got Maloloop, Magna, we got Plesio, Orisimon, both Apply decks that haven't really seen much tops, which we are going to cover in this video. We got Hunters, Beelzemon, Balphamon. We even got Lugamon doing some shenanigans, and we do have Gate of the Deadly Sins and Mother Eaters. And we also did get Diaboro, and we got a Melga. And so Metal Guru doing something really solid into the format. We really want to see more and more of this stuff. So first off, we do have none other than the list with Metal Garurumon. Yes, it was 10 players. First place was Hoodie, was Bloomlord. But taking a look here, it's kind of really sad when they do this. I really hate this, but you know, you kind of get an understanding what they're trying to do. They have Metal Garurumon X. They have the one Metal Guru. Again, if you want to take a look at the list and actually give it a shot, they have 2 of it. I can't break this down pretty cleanly, but if you guys want to make the time and figure out how they built the deck, more than welcome to. The confusion part of this is always one of my hated times to look for, but again, I wanted to show off the deck at least doing something, because there are Metal Garurumon fans that are like, I need to know how to start off, and sometimes a local win is enough to kind of give you an understanding of what possibly you might want to go with it. Seems like they're using Metal Garurumon, Metal Garurumon X, and Magna Guru with Ancient Guru as well. So there's just plenty of targets that comes off in the deck. It's still an aggressive OTK deck, so I'm not surprised here. Now, here we go. This was Media Man's event, and I know players are very interesting to play K into their dog deck. With Fenry Luga taking into this perspective, I really do like when decks kind of evolve. I think K is a very powerful card for this deck and can lead to being some great benefits and tools that we weren't expecting. So I do expect to see something with like the Balmons. You know, again, K, I definitely think is something good for the deck. You know, there is a lot of ways of digivolving and stuff like that, so I like it. I like where they're going with it. I think this is a great start for players that were wondering, oh, how would Fenry Luga fare? You know, getting 5th, you know, while there was Legend Arms is another option. And we can take a look at the Legend Arms list as well. You know, Ragnar Lord is just one of those powerful decks. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some upgrades in the future to this deck, but, you know, again, pilot dependent and shenanigans, right? Now, we did get Eaters. Eaters hasn't shown its face in a bit, so it's kind of cool to see Eaters doing something. It got brand new support in the form of, you know, King Drazel, the bites, you know, they got Erica with her variant. So yeah, there's just, the deck has some competency in it, which again, if you guys want to be playing Eaters, this might be a good starting point. There's never not a wrong answer to be building decks, so it's kind of cool to see where it's going. Now, we do have none other than, this was the Justy list, if I remember correctly. Justimon. So they are using the DM engine, which is not bad. You know, just having Vademon is very powerful. Teching in Craniamon is very vital as well. When any of your Digimon or Tamers would leave the barrier by your opponent's effect, by suspending this Digimon, one of their Digimon or Tamers doesn't leave. You know, when this Digimon suspends, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. You have Beelzemon Ace, Shadow Seraphimon, and Justimon Blitzarm Ace. Blitzarm Ace is strictly there to kill options because A, that's very vitally powerful in this format. We have a lot of options that we need to hate on, like scrambles, trainings, memory boosts. So it's kind of cool that we're seeing more and more of this option valued. You know, Vademon being able to control the Tamers and having Justimon Blitzarm Ace to kind of help control there. You know, the fact that you can use Invisimon to swing in and just kind of queue up for these aces that are going to really wreck your opponent's day under that Vademon, and then Invisimon comes out, right? Now, we do have adventures with Safiga Ace, with Puppetmon Ace. So, again, it's green base, which this seems to be the go-to right now, is to kind of answer the meta, is using the green base. It's very powerful. You know, Lily helps control boards a little bit, you know, and then you do have like Mega Kabuterimon that, you know, also has some great value in it. You know, the alliance factor is what really pushes this deck ahead. You know, so if I get Ace being able to, you know, vortex in and be able to deal with one of your opponent's Digimon and being able to attack the turn it came in, really is good. You know, Adventure has no limitations. It has a really good high ceiling. Now, we do have Plesiomon. So players have been wondering how to build it, and I think this is a good base point. You know, they have one Hammer Spark and one run rate 60%. This is how you kind of get a cheap evolve, because, you know, next time Digivolves this turn, you may trash one Digivolution card in your hand of the same color as that Digivolution to reduce the cost by 4. So, Plesiomon is blue or white. You're most likely discarding a blue card to do this, so you have plenty of targets. You know, being able to link one Apply trait from hand or this Digivolution card to this Digimon without paying its cost, you know, not bad, right? Plesiomon has some potential because, again, it does have access to, like, the security +1 and the ability to restand, if I remember correctly. It has some sort of restand ability. This Digimon can't be deleted. Nope, it's got that protection. It has some way of... This may attack a player. If I remember correctly, when this Digimon gets linked by unsuspending it other than their highest play cost... Okay. So Plesiomon being able to allow itself to unsuspend and get those extra damages is really solid. It's like, yeah, that's how it works in theory. So we did get Apocali doing some shenanigans. Again, deck is pretty good. I like the Lunamon tech option because A, at least if you have the has to attack this turn effects, Luna's going to be able to bounce it off the field. So, I mean, it's not terrible, right? 16 players getting 4-0'd. Not bad. I mean, they are playing pretty much the greatest hits that deal with Hoodie, which, again, I made a video about how to deal with Hoodie. These tamers are very powerful into it. You know, Keenan and, you know, Hero's Father are really good tech cards because, again, most likely Hoodie hits at 0, and just being able to pass the turn back the moment they do their one shenanigans is really solid. Now, we do have Apply with Orisimon. I know a lot of players are trying to figure out how to build this too. So it's kind of good to see where you're going with it. This is just pure Orisimon, using Silpha memory boost just to be able to search out most of your black and yellow pieces. You only miss on your purples and blues, which kind of sucks, but hey, it's a small percentage of your deck that you're going to be missing out on. So, yeah. Now, we do have Bagra Army. So, Bagra Army's been doing quite well for itself. Again, interaction is key. The fact that in a hoodie meta, you know, a lot of these things are, when this Digivolve card is trash, gain a memory on your opponent's turn. You do stuff all turns when any of your opponent's Digimon or Tamer Digivolves or effect places a card under them by trashing 2 of this Digivolution, trash your opponent's top security stack. Hey, guess what you do? You Digivolve. Bagra being able to steal back the turn before your opponent fully resolves everything is nasty. Bagra's also in that category of I'm really big numbers, so a hoodie turn won't shut this deck down. It takes a major hoodie turn, like already pre-built, but this deck already can answer most threats on the board anyway. So yeah, you have great value in the form of Bagra Army, and again, definitely a confidence of Pilot. Now, we do have none other than Birds, Jessmon. So they seem to take out the top end. Like, the lower end is just strictly Birds, right? You're just playing the Bird engine, doing the shenanigans. Then you have Jessmon with Medieval Gallant. Jessmon's just such a powerhouse of a card. It's really good to see where they're going with it. I mean, hey, if the engine works for you, it works for you, right? You know, Jessmon being your top end is not a bad call. Now, you do have this deck. This is someone cooked up. This has been showing up a little by little. I've seen it last week, if I remember. I think week 1, someone had this list. But again, I wanted to show off Maste Cerberus. This, again, Dog Engine plus Mastimon's not a bad call if you guys want to be taking on advantages and stuff like that. You know, being able to, by deleting this Tamer, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 5 or lower card with Undead or Dark Animal traits from trash without paying its cost. You know, not bad to be able to use K to gain that memory and set yourself up. Mastimon just being a powerhouse in herself, right? Just having that barrier. And the fact of the matter is, hey, yellow and purple, 0 cost. You play enough yellow and purple. You know, you do play Skull, Plesiomon. This is strictly in here so you can Jogress into Maste and just have your way of basically Nope, you can't. Just the DNA. Strictly to DNA. You won't be able to partition. I forgot it's Angelwomon and Lady Debbie. But yeah, just great value town in the deck. Dog Engine is still very powerful at the end of the day. Now, you do have Eximon doing Eximon shenanigans. Again, very powerful deck. Players really do enjoy it. Crimson Blaze, just the flavor of the format now. Now, Ghosties. I know players have been waiting to kind of just see what to build with Ghosties. I don't know what the one of is. It's probably Calling from Darkness. And Jack Raid is here. So, yeah, if you guys want to be building Ghosties, this might be an option for you. Yeah, it's hit or miss on what you want to do. You got Necromon, plus you have Dualahanmon, just being your backbone of the deck. You know, Violet and Boots just doing what it needs to. But all in all, guys, that is the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll catch you next one. Peace.